But we're nowhere close to talking about this in our educational content. It is important to mention that trilogies can only be as good as their finales. Here are my top 10 favorite final installments in trilogies. Let's jump in. Number 10, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. This, I put at the bottom of my list because honestly I enjoyed it. It's good. I like the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and strangely enough, I like the fourth one. And I actually kind of like the fifth one too. I'm a weird person, but these two ones of Dead Man's Chest and At World's End, I kind of just thought they were good. A lot of people are trying to compare them to stuff like Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. I'm like, it's not that good. They were kind of fun. I can't say they were really terrible, but besides that, I'm quickly going to talk about this because this actually was a pretty fun movie. And overall, for what I've said, it might sound like I hate this, but I actually don't. I really like this. It's really good. As a finale goes, left all the characters somewhat in a better spot, even with Jack Sparrow. He had the Black Pearl again. He was off on his adventures again. Elizabeth and Will got married. We're not going to get into the spoilers about what happens with that. All that. And as it goes, it was good. I guess it was good, but it's just as a finale goes, it's really good. It really stood up to the last two movies, and it finished this trilogy off. It could have ended there, but weirdly enough, I actually liked the two movies after this more than I liked these two movies. That's just me. I'm weird. But this, as a finale goes, if you like Pirates of the Caribbean and you haven't seen the finale to the first three movies, the true trilogy of Pirates of the Caribbean with the original cast and all that, I would strongly recommend you guys check out At World's End. Number 9, Toy Story 3. I actually remember when this movie came out. It came out in 2010. I remember watching it. It was around that time of 2010 that I actually got into watching the Toy Story movies. I used to be obsessed with Toy Story, and as it goes, I really like this one. It's good. It's fun. It finishes off the trilogy perfectly. They have technically come out with a fourth one, and there's talk right now, just in this week, of just announcing that they're going to come out with a fifth one, which is stupid. I haven't even seen the fourth one. I keep meaning to, because as someone growing up, I was like the biggest, I wouldn't say the biggest, but I was a big fan of Toy Story. I don't know why I haven't seen the fourth movie. Actually, funny story. I have a friend and my older brother who were obsessed with making fun of Woody and Buzz, and they came up with these Woody and Buzz Twitter accounts, and they started announcing all the stuff about how great Toy Story 4 was going to be. And then the next year they announced Toy Story 4 coming out. And now there's just this big joke between us that they are the reason why Toy Story 4 came out, was because they marketed it all over Twitter that there was going to be a Toy Story 4. Very funny story. Just thought I would mention that. Every single time I think of Toy Story 4, I think of that little story. Really funny. But honestly, I think they should have just stuck. As it goes, it's not as good as the first two. But as the finale go for Toy Story, it was pretty good. And it left off at a good place. And they should have just kept it there. Number 8, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Voyage of Dawn Treader. Most people can agree that they liked the first of the, what I call the newest Narnia movies. A lot of people I talk to who are closer to my age and younger get confused when I say the newer Narnia. But what I'm talking about is I grew up watching the BBC Narnia movies. For any of you who haven't seen those, check them out. They're pretty good. But basically what happened was, I remember when this movie came out. I remember hearing how my older siblings would talk about this new Narnia movie coming out. Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and Wardrobe. And I was really excited to see it when I was older. And I couldn't wait until I was old enough to see it. Then I kind of remember seeing in Boy Scout magazines and stuff like that they were going to come out with in 2008. Prince Caspian. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't wait to see that one too. I was still not old enough to watch them because they might be PG. But I wasn't allowed to watch them growing up because my parents said it was too big kiddish for me. And I in 2006, I think the first one came out, I would have been like 3 years old. 2008, I would have been 5 years old. So it was like, I was kind of a little young. And I remember my older siblings going out to see this movie, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, in theaters. And I was really excited to be able to be old enough. This came out in 2012, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm almost to the age. By that time, I was around 10 years old. And I was like, I can't wait until I watched it. It was a couple years later, I was able to watch these movies. And so this has a really special a special place in my heart, for the reason that it was just something that growing up, I couldn't wait to watch these Narnia movies, because I was obsessed with Narnia as a kid, and I wanted to see the newer Narnia movies and not just the old stuff. So if you ever hear me talking about it and I say in my videos, and I say, yeah, like it's one of the newer Narnia movies, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ones from 2006, 8, and 12. Those in my mind are the new Narnia movies. If I said the older Narnia movies, I'm talking about the BBC ones. So overall, this one, it did set up the silver chair a little bit, but as it goes, yes, it's an adaptation of a book series that has 7 books. They only did the 3 movies. The Lion, the Witch, and Wardrobe, I'm not going to go into complete review for all of them. The Lion, the Witch, and Wardrobe was pretty good. Prince Caspian was terrible, and this one, in my mind, it was very different from the book of the Lion, the Witch, the book of Voyage of the Dawn Treader. But as it goes, I really like it. It's fun. It's enjoyable to watch. The changes they made were actually, in my mind, really good. It didn't destroy it. So, that's just my opinion. It might have. I know for a friend, the same friend I talked about earlier with the whole Woody thing, who we always had arguments because he believed that it was. They completely destroyed the book. And we had this whole argument that we were going to have to send each other articles proving, because I kept telling him that they actually got some of the stuff from C.S. Lewis's notes, because I overheard someone talk about that. I've still never found an article. If anyone finds an article, you can leave it in the comments, tell them exactly where they got some of these ideas. But I always, growing up, thought that I overheard people talking about how there was some of this stuff came from his notes. So that's where I got it. We had a whole argument about that. We never actually sent each other any articles explaining that stuff. But anyway, kind of funny story. Basically, so as the finale goes, yeah, it's a finale to book series. That's it keeps going. But if you think about The Lion, the Witch, and Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, and Voyage of the Dawn Treader, is all own a trilogy onto itself, because that's the only one that deals with the original for kids. Then you have 3 other books that deal with different characters. They have, of course, Eustace was introduced in this one, and he's the star of 2 of the other books. Then, actually, technically, the star of one of the other books is actually the professor from the first movie. Anyways, I'm not going to get into a whole lore of Narnia. My thoughts on this is I really like this first Narnia movie. Do you like it? Tell me your thoughts down below if you like this Narnia movie. And tell me what's your thoughts about Netflix or someone picking up Narnia and finishing the series all together, because I always growing up, and I still to this day, really want to see a full Narnia series. I always, now a little bit less so than I was when I was younger, but I always would complain, why did Harry Potter get all 7 books made into movies if the greatest kids series of all time, Narnia, could not get a full 7 movies? I've changed my mind a little bit, because I'm not as big against Harry Potter as it was as a kid, but I still believe that it is kind of stupid that somehow Harry Potter managed to get all 7 books finished. Wow. They actually made 8 movies out of it. Wow. Every single time that they try to make a Narnia series, the farthest got is the BBC that got to the silver chair, and then they just stop there. No one can get all 7 books done. So I would love to see all 7 books done. So if you guys haven't seen the newer Narnia movies, check them out. Number 7, The Dark Knight Rises. While The Dark Knight Rises is probably the worst of the Dark Knight trilogy. It's still pretty good. It's a stand-up superhero movie. I like it. It's has some great characters in it. It has some great storylines in it. I mean, the villain in it, honestly, in my mind, is pretty good. I own the movie. I like it. I don't know what else to say. It's just, as finale goes through the Dark Knight, it's pretty good. It definitely has its faults. It's probably the least. I mean, again, it's the worst of all the trilogy. But it brings it to a good end, I believe. It brings the trilogy. I believe it brings the trilogy to a good end. While still setting up the idea of a fourth movie, it does really end the trilogy. And as trilogies go, The Dark Knight is a pretty good trilogy. The first one's good, the second one's good, and the third one is also pretty good. It's just not perfect. Number 6, Spider-Man No Way Home. Now we'll come to one. I mean, I really like No Way Home, but as trilogies go, as a finale, it's really, really good. But the only problem is it didn't have a good first 2 movies to go with it. I still need to rewatch Homecoming and Far From Home because I haven't watched them in years now. I just remember not liking them that much. I have some subscribers who actually really like Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man. I put out a poll about that. And I was surprised. I mean, I got half and half of people. I got even amount of people saying that Tom Holland's and even amount of people saying that Andrew Garfield's were the best ones, with a little bit lower percentages saying that people really liked Tobey Maguire's. I was surprised. A lot of it assumed that people were going to be like Tobey Maguire, then maybe Andrew Garfield, and then very below is Tom Holland's. But apparently people like Tom Holland's and Andrew Garfield's the best. And I actually find that interesting. Really like this. This movie is really good. Won't spoil what happens in this movie, but it's good as the finale goes. It does, weirdly enough, it does kind of set up for a new trilogy. But as this trilogy ends, it does a good job. And you really see the beginning, who Spider-Man is in the first movie versus in this movie. He really learns a lot. And you really bravo. As it all goes, it ties the trilogy together. Number 5, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Finale for the Indiana Jones series. This is really, really good. I really like it. I actually own the 4th movie, so yes, there is a 4th movie, and there's a 5th movie coming out that I'm going to watch. I don't think they're better than the originals, but honestly, I like them too, kind of. And especially Crystal Skull has its problems. Hopefully, Dial of Destiny will fix some problems and will not fall into some problems. But as for this movie, this is probably my favorite of the Indiana Jones movies. It's a lot of fun. For those who have not seen this movie, I won't spoil it, but he's trying to find the Holy Grail. And, you see this whole journey. You see his dad's a part of the movie too, and they bring back some characters from the original. Very fun movie, honestly. Very fun adventure. I haven't seen it in years now, and I need to watch it again. I keep running into the problem that I don't have any time to watch anything. But when I find time, I'm going to be watching this again because I remember this movie was really fun, and I can't wait to watch it again. Number 4, Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. This is my favorite Star Wars movie. A lot of people have, problems with that, and I was surprised how highly I put it on the list, but it definitely has its problems. It definitely has some massive problems. But, and you're going to hear about this in a couple weeks, and I'm getting a lot of hate for that video. But I'm going to be putting out a video talking about why I think Darth Vader is a terrible villain. But I also think that Darth Vader is actually a good villain in this movie because he's not a clunky robot monster. He is this unhinged monster who has red eyes. I'm just saying, the best scene of all of Star Wars is that moment when he goes in. I'm not going to spoil too much, but if you haven't seen this movie, you really don't want anything spoiled, I won't spoil, and this might contain a little bit of spoilers for this scene, but basically, he goes in, this group of people, just having a meeting, and they're like, oh, Darth Vader, thank you for coming. And he's he hasn't been clunky monstered yet, he still looks like a human. But he has red eyes, glowing eyes. and he has a hood up and all, right? And you just have a glimpse of him just look behind. You just see his red eyes, and then the door. He just calmly shuts all the doors, and then he just goes through and slaughters them all. And it's absolutely enjoyable to watch. I've watched this scene multiple times over and over again because I actually find that scene enjoyable. And that's the only scene I find enjoyable in Star Wars, probably. And it's kind of stupid, but honestly, that scene was really like, that moment was the only time that I ever felt like that Darth Vader was a badass. Now, I haven't seen Rogue One, and I hear that there's a really cool scene where he's like, being disturbing and all, but honestly, when he's a clunky monster, in my mind, a lot of times he's not that good. I have not seen too much of the extended stuff for Star Wars. But, in my mind, I don't really care to, because none of them look good. The only Star Wars movie that, in my mind, that actually looks enjoyable and I'm willing to watch again, all the prequels, but especially this finale. I really like this finale. It really it's the one Star Wars series that has. This is why a lot of people, even while they hate the prequels, can all agree on this. That the one good thing is they could tell that this was George Lucas's plan from the very beginning. This is the best part about a lot of people, even if they disagree with the prequels, they all can agree that it seems the most consistent because it was all created by George Lucas. Even if people don't like what he did with it, it was all created by him. So from the beginning, when you first meet Annie, to the very end when you see them turn into Darth Vader, you know from the very beginning it was setting up what he was going to do. For every single movie, you continue going. Did you do a good job? No. I think the biggest problem with this movie is that it's suddenly from good to bad. It just seems a little. Now, if you look back, it's not. In the second movie, they did do some setup. Even in the first movie, there was some hints of this kid's not fully the best kid. Even the Jedi was something. He has too much fear, and he's going to lead him to the dark side and stuff like that. Which is kind of stupid. I'm not going to get into the whole logic of Star Wars, but I'm just saying it's messed up with this idea of that fear is a bad thing, because where you're being afraid can be bad, but you should learn from your fear. Having feelings is a good thing. Having love is a good thing. All that kind of stuff. Not having emotions is being emotionless. And I'm not saying anything against people who can't feel emotions. I'm not saying that you have to be a bad guy. You can be good. I've heard of plenty of people who cannot feel anything, but they choose to love anyways. From the deepest part of their heart, even if they can't feel that feeling of love, they know what love is. But what I'm trying to say is, the idea of feelings is not something that makes you evil. It's something that makes you good. The ability to love people, the ability to care for people, the ability to feel something is actually a good thing. And that's something really messed up with Star Wars, is that they are trying to trick people into believing that having feelings and having emotions is a bad thing. I'm not going to go on a whole rant about this, or even I just did. But the whole thing is, this movie, as a finale for the prequels, really, really good. It's set up for the movies, and this was a big payoff. And it did a good job paying off what the prequels. If you haven't seen the prequels, if it hasn't, or it has been years since you've seen the prequels, and you're like, it's terrible, please check it out again. The prequels are way better than the original trilogy. They're 15 times better than the sequel trilogy. So please check them out, because the fact of the matter is, they're not terrible. They're still Star Wars, but they're not terrible. And especially this finale. Check out this finale. Number 3, the Snyder Cut. Snyder Cut, while the first two are not really good, I like the Snyder Cut of Justice League because, it did a good job with the finale. It finished off the story. From the very beginning, you could see where he was going. He stayed true, even if I don't like his darker Superman. This is another one I'm going to have to put in my head. I need to put on a list of movies to watch again, is Batman vs. Superman. I remember watching it years ago. I was doing schoolwork. I think I was also I did school some of watching this movie, so I was only half focusing while I was watching the movie, and then half of the time I was also like, working, cleaning up stuff in the bed, in the room I was watching it. So only was half focused. So I guess I need to watch this movie again and really focus on it, because I've only seen Batman vs. Superman once, and I just remember not being that good, but I also wasn't paying attention that well. So it might be better than I remember. Anyways, but if you haven't seen the Snyder Cut, it's 4 hours long, but it's totally worth watching if you're a DC fan, because it's really, 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 really good. Number 2, Captain America Civil War. Captain America Civil War is awesome. As a Captain America movie, it's actually really good. It does have the problem that it's kind of more of Avengers Civil War, but as it goes with, Captain America, it's enjoyable to watch. Captain America is, you from the very opening, right? In the first movie, Captain America is black and white. The Nazis bad, Americans good. Second one, the Americans also are bad, having Nazis coming in, joining them. Bad people too. The world is not black and white. And then this movie, you must join the government so we can provide for you, and we can tell when you are allowed to go out and fight. We can basically use you as weapons. Captain America, no. I've already learned my lesson in the second movie. I'm not going to be completely about government. Really cool, right? If you ask Captain America from the first movie to sign something saying, as a superhero, I give my rights to only be used as a superhero when the government says I can. He would have been like, sign it right here. But because of that second movie, he would not do that, because he learned his lesson that not everything's black and white. That's the cool thing about this movie. It's as a finale to the story of Captain America. Now Captain America keeps going on after this, but as a finale to the 3 movies of Captain America: Captain America the First Avenger, Captain America Winter Soldier, and Captain America Civil War. It's a good finale. It's a great finale to all those movies, because Civil War finishes off his character story, his character arc in those movies of he is not trusting of the government. In Infinity War, you can see that he's wearing no flags of America. He's wearing nothing to show that he's a part of America, because the fact of the matter is he has given up his country because they have betrayed him. And then later on, you see in the 4th movie and you see in Endgame that he actually still left his country, and he's going to fight for his country again and all that. So overall, it's really good. I think if you haven't seen Civil War yet, it's worth watching. It's really, really good. It's a great finale to the Captain America trilogy. If you haven't seen it yet, please check it out. Number 1, The Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. And of course, this is going to be the top one. But you have to kind of. It's just not perfect, but almost perfect in every way. All the problems they had in the 2 towers, they fixed practically. It's just really, really good. It's the longest of all the Lord of the Rings movies, but it's worth watching extended. It's really, 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 really good. It finishes off the story. It has some of the most emotional moments in it. From the very opening of the scene, yes, they have problems, but while I'm a Tolkien fan, I am not so far of a Tolkien fan that I can't understand, because, you run into 2 different things, right? I am a Tolkien fan, and I am a movie fan. I can't say I'm perfect at it. I don't fully understand everything that goes into movies, because I've never filmed a movie. I've never actually made a movie. I just understand how movies are made. But you have 2 different things. You have, on one hand, you have Tolkien fan. On the other hand, movie fan. And so I can understand, sometimes you're going to have to break some of the Tolkien fan to like the movie. And yes, some things they had to change. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not going to tell you, because it's worth just watching the movie, even better, read the books and then watch the movies. I'm going to have old Chandler talking about books, and you would bet that a good number of hours of content on that channel will be dedicated to talking about the Lord of the Rings, with another couple hours dedicated to the Iliad and a couple more hours dedicated to Greek myths. And you get the point. Again, you guys, just a little hint. Try to get that 10,000 subscribers because I really want to start a channel about books. Even if we don't start a channel like then about books, I still want to start a channel about books. Please. Anyways, back onto what I was just saying. I just got really excited about it because I just thought about how great it would be when we can do books and I can just talk for hours on. Look, all the books I have right there. Books I have right there. That's all. And I moved over here. And like one book I probably need. Add that book to the first Percy Jackson book. I need to put it with the other ones. I own the first 3 Percy Jackson books. If my sister ever sees this, thank you for those books. Those books are awesome. I haven't finished the 3rd book yet, but I will finish that eventually when I get a chance. Anyways, but I love books just like how I like movies, and I would love to start a channel about books. Anyways, but back onto this thing. I need to really finish talking about this. We can talk about books a lot on that channel. As a movie adaptation, they had to change some things. In the book, I can afford to read a book, a part of a book that is like 7 chapters of just the finale. But in the movie, you can't do that. People complain that this movie has too many endings to it. Read the book, guys. It has 7 chapters of endings. The last half of the book is just endings for the series. They have right after Mount Doom, they have a chapter where you see him waking up. You get a bunch of songs. You get a couple of feasts. I believe, I might be wrong. I can't believe I'm doing this as a Tolkien fan and I'm forgetting about this. I'm right now getting over a cold, so that might be some of it why my memory's not the best. But I believe that's the chapter that they have the crowning of Aragorn. Or it might be the next chapter. I believe it's. Let me think through this. We have the Tower of Curious Uncle, the Land of Shadow, Mount Doom, the Field of Cormelin. Oh, yes, it is. The Steward and the King is the next chapter after that, and so yes, it's in the next chapter. So it's not the chapter where you see the whole wake up in the banquets and all. Yes, I thought it was the next chapter. Right? So you have the Steward and the King. Then you have Many Pardons. You have Homebound, the Scourging of the Shire, the Grey Havens. I think I have all those chapters down. Yes, I think I have all the chapters down for the last half of the book. You see, the first 3 chapters are dealing with destroying the ring, and then the 7 chapters after that, you have a chapter just dedicated to banquets. Next chapter dedicated to banquets. Next chapter dedicated to people splitting up. Next chapter dedicated to more people splitting up, and next chapter dedicated to something happened in the Shire, and next chapter is dedicated to more splitting ups and more finale. So you have 7 chapters of finales. That's how. So for all those people complaining about how many endings are, they cut down on most of the endings, including with the opening in this movie. They took out a character that was a big part in the finale. They just took out a complete, very fun chapter, very enjoyable chapter, and they just completely changed the ending. Made it so the ending only took 10 minutes instead of, if they just did everything that happened in the book for the ending, it would have taken a couple more hours practically. The one chapter, Scourging of the Shire, in itself could have been its own movie, and that's the chapter I'm talking about, that they completely took out a character that was important to that chapter in the beginning of the movie, so that they didn't have to do that. And a lot of people are like, I hate them for that. I actually agree with that, because the fact of the matter is, while I really like to see, and I'm going to talk about this in another video, but I really want to see, if they decide they really want to make a remake to Lord of the Rings, while I 100% disagree, and I will put out a video talking about my top 10 movies, I totally don't think need ever to get a remake, because they're perfect in every way by themselves. And I never want to see, because the music is already perfect, the cinematography, everything is already perfect in this movie, so I don't want to see any changes. But if any changes had to happen, I would say make a remake that is just a TV series, and then you can have like 5 seasons, and you can do all that. You can add Tom Bombadil and the Scourgeon of the Shire. You can add all this stuff back in because you have the chance to. So, tell me, like, what's your thoughts? I mean, do you think that the changes they made was worth it? For those who all understand movies and understand how movies work, tell me, do you think these are changes they should have made, or it really makes no sense why they should have made that in movies and they could have continued having it in the movie The Scourge and the Shire, different things like this? I personally think the changes they made, especially with Tom Bombadil is, I mean, he's enjoyable to watch, but, and I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, he's not necessary to be in a movie adaptation of Lord of the Rings. He's a side character from an ancient times that there's a lot of backstory behind him. There's a lot of meaning behind him, but it was a fun thing for books, but it does not have to be in the movie because movies are supposed to be fast-paced. Because the fact of the matter is people are going to want to move on quickly, and they can't afford to watch something. It seems like it's just pointless for a very long time. I'm not saying that it is pointless, but I'm just saying Tom Bombadil can be considered pointless at points. Okay, so tell me your thoughts in the comments below about this. If you haven't seen the Lord of the Rings movies, check them out because they're perfect. But again, as I said before, please check out the books first because it's better to understand where they went wrong in these movies so that you know how they went right. Okay, so tell me your thoughts in below on these movies. Do you agree with them? Do you have movies that you're like, oh, this is actually a better finale to a series than you mentioned on your list? I really like this. Again, there's some series like, I mean, The Godfather. I have not seen the trilogy yet. I keep finding that I don't have any time. Bring that point up, guys. If any of you guys are video editors and you really want to get into video editing, kind of want to make edit YouTube videos, but you don't want to start a YouTube channel because you don't care to actually make videos, you just want to edit videos, hit me up. I will leave in the description below a link to an email. You can email me. I'm not promising you a job. What I'm saying is, if you want to hit me up and say, hey, I really want to edit videos, I'll be like, hey, you can edit my videos. And not just that, but for right now, I'm not making any money off these videos. So the fact of the matter is, I can't promise I can pay you money to edit my videos. But you know what I could do? It would start going in a partnership that really shows, hey, I really want to keep this person on. Guess what's gonna happen? Instead of me hiring you to edit a video, I'm partner with you, and you can get a percentage of the earnings we make off videos because you're now my partner. You're not just a member of this. You're not just a person who's watching these videos they wanted to edit a video. You're now a part of the planet. You're part of the team that makes these videos, and you will make money off of the videos that are planned. So basically, I'm not promising anyone a job. What I'm promising people is that they can have the chance. If they want to edit videos, they can edit videos, and as our channel grows, once we reach monetization and I start making money, I'll be like, hey, you put in 50% of the effort into making this video. I'm going to give you 50% of the earnings. It's probably not going to be like that, but you get the point. I'm actually going to I'll eventually put out a video talking about this. If anyone actually wants to make a video for this channel too, again, you can hit up that email, comments below. Also, if anyone just wants to send a fan mail or stuff like that, they can also feel free to hit up that link too. I'll probably try to find time to read it. I find myself being really busy, and some of that is because I had to edit all these videos I make. This video right now is like 40 minutes long. I don't know how long it's going to be when I finish editing it, but you get the point. It's going to take a gosh dang long time. And it's annoying sometimes. And you people sometimes wonder why I don't have more pictures, more video clips in my videos, is because I have to try to put out videos and try to work a full-time job. I have to record the videos, plan the videos, do all that kind of stuff, and then I still have to put all the time into editing it, and it can take a lot of time. So if anyone is like, I don't want to make YouTube videos, but I want to edit the YouTube videos, again, I can't pay you, but you can become my partner, and we can work together to make this channel bigger, so that we can both make money. And if anyone else says, I really want to make YouTube videos, but I don't want to start a whole channel by myself, hey, if you have the same passions as me, you can hit me up. You can even, like, if you already edit, and if you already had an edited video that you want to just have me put up on the channel, just send it to me. I will review it, tell you what I think, tell you if I think it's a good video and it's up and it's to this channel's morals and all. I would say, hey, I really like this video. Yeah, I'll put it on this channel, because as you see, I didn't doing this video, but in a lot of my videos, I open by saying that my name is Peter Wary and I'll be your host today, because I want to be able to have it so other people can host this channel sometimes. Because while this is a passion project of mine, I know there's other passionate people about this topic, and I want to help those people say, hey, I want to talk about this too. Whether you start your own channel, whether you join me on this channel, I don't care. As long as we can get more voices out there saying, Disney, Hollywood, all those people, just like Hollywood, please step up your game. That's all I want to say. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below on this topic. Remember, if you really want to hit me up with a fan email, you can hit me up with recommendations for videos. You can hit me up with. You can also just use the comments below. Unless it's something that you really feel like. The fact about it is, right now there's only a couple people commented on each video. So if any of you guys are like, so the point of having like a lot of times when people send fan mail is because they believe that it will hit the content creator more directly. Because if there's a couple thousand comments, once we reach thousands of comments per video, I'm not going to be probably haven't found the time to read those comments, because yeah, we might only have 1,000 subscribers and all 1,000 of them decide to comment. Thank you guys for all that. But the fact of the matter is, as I keep saying, I'm kind of busy right now. Imagine how busy I would be once we have 1,000 subscribers. And I'm doing all that stuff too. I have to, now with 1,000 subscribers, I have to put out, by that time I might be putting out even more than 2 videos per week. Technically, some weeks you've been noticing that I've been putting out a couple of YouTube shorts. I've been putting out stuff like that too. So those may take a couple minutes to edit and all. And I've been starting to put out these recaps. You get the point. I don't want to go too long on this video. But you know what I'm saying? While I really like all you guys' comments, and I will try to keep up with as much comments, the point of fan mail sometimes is to try to get to the content creator when you know that they're probably never going to see your comment, because there's a couple thousands of comments, and your comment doesn't have your comment like maybe a couple days after, right? And there's a couple thousands of comments. I know if I've personally commented on videos and no one ever saw my comment because it had 0 likes, and it just automatically went to the bottom of the list. And nobody, when they're like, I'm gonna take a couple hours and just scroll through all these people's comments. Even if it's on my video, I will try to, but I don't know if I will. That's the same way it goes with this. I don't want to make this too long. Thank you guys for watching. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below on this topic and on further topics. And again, if you want to make videos or you want to edit videos, please start your own channel or talk to me. I'm willing to grow this channel out to be more than one person. While the channel is still small, I kind of want I'm not going to try to overly push other people to join, because I'm okay with it being a really small channel right now, because we're only at around 30 subscribers. But once we get bigger, and once the plan is one day to have like 4 channels, And if I had to edit all those videos and put out a video per day for each of those channels, not saying to put out a video like for each channel every day, so 4 videos a day, but a video for this channel on this day, when we get to that point, I'll show you I have a schedule planned out to how I will put out the videos on those weeks, on my week schedule. What I'm thinking so far of, like, Sunday is food channel, Monday is book channel, you get the point. Like Tuesday, game channel, Wednesday, you just keep it like that. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Tell me your guys' thoughts in the comments below. This has been the Movie Night Reviewer, Peter Weir, signing off.